So wave your rag and sing it, let the whole world see. This is we government, this is we family. No turning back, no turning back. One love, one love, one love, one love, one love, one love. No turning back. One love, one love, one love, one love, one love, one love. No turning back. One back, 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 one back. Service over self. That's what we found. Lift them up. For
Pleasant good morning, Virgin Islands. The Committee of Budget, Appropriations and Finance of June 18, 2026 is hereby called to order. Again, I want to say a pleasant good morning to all present, listening and viewing. Today continues the budget hearings for Fiscal Year 2027, which, of course, begins in October 1. Before the committee today, we do have the Bureau of Corrections, as well as the Virgin Islands Waste Management Authority. At this time, Madam Clerk, please read today's agenda into the record.
The Committee on Budget, Appropriations and Finance will meet on Thursday, June 18th, 2026, 10 a.m. in the Earle B. Ottley Legislative Hall on St. Thomas to receive testimony on the Fiscal Year 2027 budget. Bureau of Corrections, invited testifier, Ms. Wynnie, Testamark, Director. This ends Block 1, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Before we begin, I just want to again remind my colleagues and those in the audience to please turn your cell phone off or on silent as to not to interrupt today's proceedings. And Director, good morning, welcome. All right, at this time, we'd like for you to introduce yourself and for the team to at least do a mic check. Do you have anyone appearing virtually?
No, sir.
Okay, very well. Just introduce yourself and then we'll have all of your other staff introduce
Good
them.
morning. I'm Wynnie Testamark, Director, Bureau of Corrections.
Good morning, Peter Abrahams, Assistant Director, Support Services.
Good morning, Phyllis Hodge-Gums, Human Resources Manager.
Good morning, Dr. Kaiser A. Callwood, Chief Strategy Officer.
Good morning, Kathy Monroe, Fiscal and Budget Manager.
Good morning, Sandra Andrew Nesbitt, Financial Specialist.
Good morning, Dr. Linda Callwood, Medical Director.
Very well. Good morning to all. At this time, Director, you could go ahead with your testimony.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman Noble E. Francis, Jr., Vice Chairman Marvin Blyden, esteemed members of the Committee on Budget, Appropriations and Finance, distinguished members of the 36th Legislature of the Virgin Islands, legislative staff, and all those joining us in person and virtually via YouTube and Facebook. My name is Wynnie Testamark, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Director of the Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections. Today, I appear before you with deep respect and a renewed sense of purpose to present Governor Albert Bryan Jr.'s Fiscal Year 2027 proposed executive budget for the Bureau of Corrections. Before we delve into the details of our testimony, allow me to introduce my committed management team, each a pillar in our daily operations and strategic vision. They introduced themselves already: Peter Abrams, Dr. Linda Callwood, Dr. Kaiser A. Callwood, Kathy Monroe, Ms. Phyllis Hodge-Gums, and Ms. Sandra Nesbitt. Several other key members of our management team are also present in the chambers, ready to provide insight and clarity where needed. The mission of the Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections is to provide the fair and secure supervision of all individuals under our custody, support their successful reintegration into society, safeguard the public, and ensure the safety of our personnel. Our vision is to evolve into an accredited premier correctional agency recognized globally for innovation, stability, and operational excellence. The fiscal year 2027 budget represents a strategic investment in public safety, underscoring our dual commitment to security and effective reentry programming. Governor Bryan's proposed budget affirms that strong, well-managed correctional operations are fundamental to community safety. This funding is part of a comprehensive strategy to build a safer and more resilient Virgin Islands. As we reflect on our accomplishments, I extend sincere appreciation for the dedication, professionalism, and resilience demonstrated by the entire staff of the Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections.
Every team member plays an essential role in advancing our mission and serving the community with integrity. I am deeply grateful for their steadfast commitment, particularly during challenging circumstances, and it is through their collective effort that we continue to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those entrusted to our care. I also proudly recognize and congratulate our 2026 Employee of the Year honorees, Food Service Administrator Sonia Gansey, St. Croix District, and Administrative Officer Joan Thomas, St. Thomas District. Their exemplary performance, leadership, and unwavering dedication have established a standard of excellence across the organization. Their contributions have strengthened our operations and continue to inspire their colleagues to pursue higher levels of achievement. The fiscal year 2027 proposed budget totals $36.4 million, representing an increase of $462,000, 1.3% increase, compared with fiscal year 2026 revised budget of $36 million. The proposed budget reflects targeted investments in personnel-related costs while maintaining overall fiscal discipline across operational categories. This request reflects a disciplined and strategic investment in public safety, institutional security, employee retention, inmate care, and operational sustainability. While maintaining fiscal restraint, the Bureau has successfully redirected resources towards critical mission priorities, reduced certain contractual expenditures, stabilized staff and operations, and improve accountability over public funds. Fiscal year 2027 budget demonstrates measurable returns on investment through continued reduction in overtime dependency from fiscal year 2025 actual expenditures, increased investment in employee benefits and workforce stabilization, enhanced inmate nutrition and health care, dental care, mental health support, sustained institutional operations without significant growth in overall appropriations, and continued compliance with correctional standards and public safety mandates. Every dollar requested supports the Bureau's constitutional responsibility to safely house, supervise, rehabilitate, and prepare incarcerated individuals for successful reintegration into society while protecting the residents of the Virgin Islands. The Bureau remains committed to operational excellence, fiscal accountability, transparency, and measurable outcomes. The personnel and fringe benefits accounts reflects a total workforce investment of $21.9 million, consisting of salaries, fringe benefits, overtime, shift differentials, and employee uniform allowances. At the heart of our operations are sworn staff and support staff inclusive of clinicians, counselors, human resources, information technology, and maintenance work tirelessly around the clock. Personnel costs are the cornerstone of our expenditures, with 223 positions budgeted for fiscal year 2027. Of these, 154 are currently filled and 69 remain vacant. Some positions are funded at 50%, 15, and 75%, 2, allowing us flexibility while remaining fiscally responsible. Among these positions, 163 are classified and 60 are unclassified, each essential to the functioning of a system that never sleeps. Filled positions account for 68.7% of our total personnel expenditures. Vacant positions account for 23.9% of total personnel expenditures only. Differentials account for 7.4% of actual personnel expenditures. Fringe benefits total $7 million, representing approximately 47.7% of salary costs. This includes retirement contributions, health insurance, payroll taxes, and other employee benefit obligations. The addition of a 10,000 uniform allowance supports required employer uniforms and contributes to workforce readiness and professional standards. Combined personnel costs are projected at $21 million in 2026, increasing to $21.9 in fiscal year 2027, reflecting an overall upward adjustment of approximately $892,000. This increase is primarily driven by rising health insurance premium costs and statutory retirement contribution obligations, both of which continue to escalate independent of staffing levels. Additional pressure stems from ongoing workforce retention initiatives, as well as targeted salary and compensation adjustments designed to maintain a competitive pay structure and stabilize critical staffing within the correctional system. Collectively, these factors reflect a structurally driven increase in personnel-related expenditures, consistent with the broader trends in public sector benefits and compensation costs. Fiscal year 2026 expenditures as of June 8, 2026 for overtime management totaled $2.6 million, signaling a significant reduction compared to the previous 2 fiscal years. Expenditures thus far decreased by $2.2 million from the fiscal year 2025 actual expenditures of $4.8 million and $2.5 from the fiscal year 2024 actual expenditures of $5.2 million. For comparison, fiscal year 2025 expenditures, $4.8 million, was slightly lower than fiscal year 2024 expenditures of $5.2 million, reflecting a decrease of $371,000 overall. The overall trends demonstrate a modest decline between fiscal year 2024 and fiscal year 2025, followed by a much more substantial reduction in fiscal year 2026. Because fiscal year 2026 figures are reported through June 8 of 26, expenditures may increase before the close of the fiscal year as additional obligations and payments are processed. Nevertheless, the year-to-date spending level reflects a significant reduction when compared to the same period in prior years. Notably, the current fiscal year 2026 expenditure level reflects improved scheduling practices and workforce stabilization efforts while maintaining operational effectiveness and fiscal responsibility. Correctional officers and supervisors remain the backbone of the Bureau, representing approximately 43% of our workforce. Despite persistent staffing challenges, they have continued to carry out our mission with professionalism, dedication, and resilience. To recognize their service and strengthen workforce stability, the Bureau has fully implemented negotiated salary increases under collective bargaining agreements and government pay plans. This includes all negotiated raises for LESU for fiscal year 2019 through fiscal year 2023, the Seafarers International Union for fiscal year 20 to fiscal year 2025, SIU Masters fiscal year 2018 to fiscal year 2023, and United Steelworkers fiscal year 2019 to fiscal year 2022. In addition, GS scheduled non-union salary adjustments have been implemented through fiscal year 2025. All employees earning below $35,000 annually have also been brought up to a minimum salary of $35,000. Currently, we are working with the Office of Management and Budget to finalize pending salary increases for the Bureau's nurses. We anticipate that the review and approval process will be completed within the next 2 weeks. The Bureau continues to prioritize workforce development through expanded recruitment efforts, including radio advertisements, career fairs, continuous job postings, examination waivers for qualified applicants, and close coordination with the Division of Personnel to streamline hiring. These initiatives have contributed to an increase in correctional recruit applicants and new hires across both districts. The Bureau remains committed to maintaining a competitive compensation structure, improving employee retention, and ensuring a professional workforce capable of meeting the public safety needs of the Virgin Islands. We thank our correctional officers, supervisors, and support staff for their continued dedication and service. Vendor payments. Vendor payments total $14.5 million out of the $36.4 million total budget, representing approximately 39.7% of the total expenditures. This positions vendor obligations as the second largest budgetary category after personnel costs, reflecting the Bureau's significant reliance on external service providers to sustain operations and maintain facility functionality. The most significant component of vendor spending is associated with the housing and feeding of off-island inmates, budgeted at $7.9 million in fiscal year 2025. This estimate excludes inmate health care costs, which represents additional variable expenditures and increase the total of costs of island incarceration. As of the current reporting period, there are 39 outstanding vendor invoices totaling $3.8 million, which remains in various stages of review and processing, and $957,000 of the overall total is in the payment stage within the ERP system. The Bureau continues to prioritize timely liquidation of obligations and has implemented ongoing measures to expedite invoice processing and reduce aging payables. While periodic delays in the broader government disbursement process, including within the Department of Finance, have affected payment timing, all essential correctional services for inmates and staff have remained fully operational and uninterrupted. The Bureau maintains active coordination and communication with vendors to manage cash flow expectations, mitigate operational risk, and ensure continuity of critical services. Settlement Agreement Update. The fiscal year 2027 budget includes $1.2 million for court-appointed monitors and expert services, representing a required and ongoing legal obligation under 2 active federal consent decrees governing John A. Bell Correctional Facility, St. Croix, and the Alexander Farrelly Criminal Justice Complex on St. Thomas. These expenditures remain mandatory for the duration of court oversight and are integral to maintaining compliance. The Virgin Islands Department of Justice serves as the lead counsel for both settlement agreements. In a coordinated effort to advance towards resolution, DOJ and the Bureau have engaged Butler Snow, LLC, a nationally recognized firm with specialized expertise in correctional systems, litigation, and consent decree termination strategies. The firm operates under DOJ supervision and utilizes a structured approach to assess and achieve sustained compliance and eventual dismissal of federal oversight. Recent developments in St. Croix settlement agreement marks a significant milestone. Following more than 40 years of federal supervision, the District Court of the Virgin Islands has granted the territory's joint motion to terminate the medical provisions of the settlement agreement as reflected in a declaration filed in July 2025. During the November 20th, 2025 status hearing, Judge Wilma Lewis recognized the Bureau's sustained and verifiable compliance with constitutional medical and dental care standards, noting that the long-standing deficiencies have been replaced with stable, modern, and compliant systems. Court-appointed monitors similarly reported continued progress across additional operational areas. Determination of the medical dental care provisions represents a critical juncture and signals entry into the final phase of compliance. In parallel, a status conference in the St. Thomas Settlement Agreement held on May 14, 2026, before Chief Judge Robert Malloy reflected continued engagement and ongoing evaluation of compliance progress. These developments reflect a deliberate transition from compliance management to compliance sustainability, positioning the Bureau for eventual termination of the remaining settlement agreement obligations. U.S. Marshal Service. The Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections maintains a revenue-generating intergovernmental agreement with the U.S. Marshal Services, under which the Bureau provides secure housing and related services for federal detainees. This arrangement leverages existing correctional capacity to support federal detention needs while creating a reimbursable revenue stream for the territory. In exchange for these services, the U.S. Marshals Services compensates the Bureau on a cost recovery basis, providing a supplemental funding source that supports operational continuity and facility maintenance. Under this framework, the Bureau received $678,000 in fiscal year 2025 and $204,000 to date for fiscal year 2026. This partnership enhances the Bureau's financial efficiency by monetizing available bed capacity, diversifying revenue streams, and strengthening overall fiscal sustainability while maintaining required standards of secure custody and inmate care. The Bureau remains committed to meeting constitutional health care obligations while controlling costs through enhanced oversight and contract management. As of June 2026, the Bureau houses 181 inmates locally, 70 at CJC and 111 at John A. Bell. Of the inmate housed locally, 169 are male and 12 are female. In addition, the Bureau houses 170 inmates off-island at facilities in Virginia, 33, and Mississippi, 137. All 351 prisoners in Bureau's custody, including those housed off-island, must be fed, housed, transported, and cared for at the Bureau's expense. Later this year, we intend to visit our inmates in Virginia and Mississippi to ensure that they are properly treated and to respond to any concerns they may have, along with meeting with key prison officials, review inmate files to ensure that they were up to date, and hold one-on-one discussion with each inmate. The expense of incarcerating a prisoner in the Virgin Islands exceed twice the cost of them on the mainland. Currently, the Bureau estimates maintaining an inmate in the territory amounts to $320 per day, compared to approximately $89 a day for core civic and $109 for Virginia per day in the mainland correctional facilities. In fiscal year 2026, the Bureau spent a total of $340,000 for inpatient and outpatient services, comprising of $109,000 for local medical care and $231,000 for off-island medical care. Note that there are outstanding vendor payments for medical care totaling $1.2 million. In fiscal year 2025, the Bureau spent a total of $1.1 million for inpatient and outpatient services, comprising of $836,000 for local medical and $301,000 for off-island medical care. Mental health care remains a critical component of correctional health care. Consequently, the Bureau of Corrections has become and continues to be the primary providers of mental health services in the territory. Presently, approximately 40% of inmates within the Bureau facilities receive some form of mental health treatment. The Bureau has adopted a deliberate strategy to expand and optimize federal grant funding as a mechanism to offset general fund expenditures associated with correctional operations, including offender programming, medical services, and infrastructure investments. Each dollar secured through external funding sources directly reduces reliance on local appropriations while strengthening programmatic capacity and service delivery. The Bureau maintains an active and diversified federal grant portfolio with no grant funds currently expiring at fiscal year end 2026. The portfolio is anchored by multiple awards under the State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, known as SCAP, and complementary federal initiatives supporting territorial development and institutional capacity building. Current grant activity is as follows, reflecting a stable and scalable external funding base. Current period funding, $1.2 million. Active grant funding, $400,000. Total cumulative project funding, $1.6 million. This diversified grant portfolio enables the Bureau to enhance correctional programming, expand rehabilitative services, and strengthen operational infrastructure while mitigating pressure on the general fund. Continued emphasis will be placed on maximizing federal reimbursement opportunities and aligning grant utilization with strategic priorities that improve public safety outcomes, reduce recidivism, and support long-term system sustainability. Accomplishments and initiative during the last fiscal year. Under the Brian Roach administration, BOC has continued to record concrete accomplishments that improve the agency's outlook and make it better able to achieve its core mission objectives in the long term. BOC's many accomplishments include designing and implementing an effective reentry program. The Bureau remains committed to reducing repeat involvement in the justice system by focusing on evidence-based rehabilitation and reentry programs. These programs are designed to support individuals as they transition from custody back into the community, with the goal of reducing the likelihood that they will commit new offenses after release. In 2025, a total of 161 individuals were released from custody across St. Croix and St. Thomas districts. After release, these individuals was followed over a 3-year period to see if they were arrested again for new offenses. This type of follow-up commonly used measure is what is measured, known as recidivism. The result of this 3-year review showed that 30 individuals were rearrested during the period studied. This means that about 19 out of every 100 people released were arrested again, which equals a recidivism rate of approximately 18.6%. The remaining majority of 131 individuals did not have a new arrest during that 3-year follow-up period. When compared to the 2022 cohort recidivism rate of 11%, the 2023 cohort experienced an increase of 7.6% points. One contributing factor to reoffending is the lack of stable housing upon release. Many individuals return to the community without a permanent resident, transitional home, or adequate family support. The absence of safe and stable housing can create significant barriers to securing employment, accessing services, maintaining compliance with supervision requirements, and successfully reintegrating into society. Addressing housing instability through coordinated reentry planning and supportive housing initiatives may help reduce recidivism and improve long-term outcome for returning citizens. To understand, it is helpful to compare to the national trends in the United States. About 68 of every 100 people released from state prisons are rearrested within 3 years. Compared to the national benchmark, the rate observed in this cohort is significantly lower. While this comparison provides useful context, it is important to note that differences in population, supervision conditions, and program support can all influence outcomes. The Bureau continues to invest in rehabilitation and reentry services to support long-term public safety and reduce repeat involvement in the criminal justice system. Chaplaincy Program. The Bureau's chaplaincy program provides voluntary faith-based services that support the spiritual growth, emotional well-being, and rehabilitation of incarcerated individuals. Services include Bible study, worship and prayer services, individual and group counseling, and family outreach initiatives. These programs contribute to a positive correctional environment and support successful rehabilitation and reentry outcomes. The Bureau employs a full-time chaplain, Mr. Burkett, and we thank the numerous faith-based organizations that their time to our offender population. Vocational and educational programs. The Bureau continues to expand educational and vocational opportunities that support rehabilitation and successful reentry. In partnership with the University of the Virgin Islands, Excellence in Leadership, UVI-CEL, the Bureau celebrated graduates of the Transforming Lives Academy, a first-of-its-kind initiative that enables incarcerated individuals to earn high school diplomas and industry-recognized certificates. The Bureau has also partnered with promising people and have implemented the innovative virtual reality VR-based training, providing immersive, self-paced learning experiences that enhance workforce readiness and skill development. In fiscal year 2024, 38 inmates participated in various educational programs. In fiscal year 2025, participation increased to 83. As of June 2026, a total of 76 inmates, 46 John A. Bell and 30 at CJC, were enrolled in educational, vocational, and rehabilitative programs across both districts, including high school completion, GED preparation, reentry services, computer literacy, and cognitive behavioral programming. Overall, this reflects a total of 197 program participants across fiscal year 2024 through 2026. The inmate graduation ceremony at John A. Bell and the CJC complex was held on June 17, 2026, and the Family Fun Day event will be held June 19th and June 20th, respectively, 2026. Graduation outcome. At John A. Bell facility, 37 individual program completion was recognized, 3 inmates earned their high school diplomas, 23 inmates completed vocational training programs, 27 inmates completed rehabilitation programs, and 3 inmates received special recognition for achievement and progress in tutoring. At CJC, 13 program completions recognized, 1 inmate earned a high school diploma, and 12 inmates completed rehabilitation programs. These accomplishments reflect the Bureau's continued commitment to education, rehabilitation, and successful reentry initiatives that supports positive inmate outcomes. Inmate work programs. The Bureau's inmate work programs provide meaningful employment opportunities that support rehabilitation, skill development, and successful reentry while contributing to facility operations and generating cost savings for the government. Participants engage in maintenance, agriculture, horticulture, and public works projects, including assignments supporting various government agencies to include Department of Agriculture, Department of Public Works, Virgin Islands Department of Education, Department of Sports Park Recreation, Government House, WTJX, and Virgin Islands Department Property and Procurement. Currently, 56 inmates, 43 at John A. Bell and 13 at CJC, are actively participating in work programs that promote accountability, workforce readiness, and productive community engagement. During fiscal year 2026 to date, inmate work program has generated an estimated $120,000 cost savings to the government of the Virgin Islands, equating to a total of 500 hours for approximately 20 individuals who participated in external work programs. Swan Annex. In coordination with the Office of Disaster Recovery, BOC finalized architectural designs for a new facility, and the project is now with ODR as the lead on the project. John A. Bell, in coordination with Whit O'Brien and the DLR Group, we continue to work on the development of the drawings for the security fence. The design process is progressing as we collaborate with all stakeholders to ensure the project meets operational requirements. Upon completion of the drawings and necessary reviews, the project will advance to the next phase. Upgrades at John A. Bell and CJC. The Bureau continues to make targeted capital improvements across both facilities to ensure uninterrupted operations, enhance security, and improve inmate care. Security systems, 100% completion of energy-efficient perimeter lighting at John Bell. We are currently collaborating with DMB Engineering to review and refine the draft design for the new fire alarm and fire suppression system at John Bell facility. Expanded medical, mental health, and mental health units to provide comprehensive inmate care. Completion of parole hearings. The Parole Board conducted its biannual parole hearing in December of 2025, reviewing applicants from eligible inmates. Of the cases considered, 4 inmates were granted parole, 35 were denied, and 1 applicant withdrew prior to the hearing. The Bureau extends its appreciation to the Parole Board for their dedication and commitment to ensuring fair and thorough review process while balancing public safety considerations. The next parole hearings are scheduled for June 2026 for offenders eligible and recommended to the Parole Board. In recognition of dedication and professionalism of its workforce, the Bureau hosted a series of employee appreciation activities from May 3rd to the 9th, 2026. The observation celebrated the invaluable contributions of correctional officers, nurses, and support staff whose efforts are essential to the Bureau's operation and continued progress. On May 8th, employees were recognized through awards, certificates, commemorative gifts, and a special appreciation luncheon for their contributions to the removal of the medical dental care provisions in the St. Croix Consent Decree. The Virgin Islands Dignity Bus Initiative. On February 12, 2026, the Bureau hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the territory's first Dignity Bus on St. Croix. This innovative mobile supports unit provides temporary assistance to individuals experiencing homelessness, transitioning from incarceration, or facing personal crisis. Equipped with a shower and laundry facility, a kitchen, sleeping accommodations, and connections to meal and supported services. The Dignity Bus reflects the Bureau's commitment to promoting successful reentry, restoring dignity, and strengthening community support systems. To date, we have serviced 85 individuals and connected them to various services. We also partnered with My Brother's Table in Frederiksted. Transitional Home. To date, the program has served 15 individuals. While the Transition Home provides a structured and supportive environment designed to assist participants with their successful reintegration into the community, several individuals have chosen to leave the program shortly after admission. Feedback received indicates that some residents perceive living on the correctional facility ground as an extension of incarceration, making it difficult for them to embrace the transition process. Despite this challenge, the program continues to provide transitional housing to individuals seeking successful reintegration into the community. Conclusion. Mr. Chairman, under the leadership of the Brian Roach administration, the Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections continues to advance a modern, accountable, and result-driven correctional system focused on public safety, rehabilitation, and operational excellence through commitments that have not only been made, but meaningfully delivered. Through strategic investment in our workforce, infrastructure, inmate programming, and compliance initiatives, the Bureau is delivering measurable outcomes while positioning the territory for long-term success. The Governor's Fiscal Year 2027 budget provides the resources necessary to maintain safe and secure facilities, strengthen rehabilitation and reentry efforts, supports our dedicated employees, and continue progress towards the successful resolution of long-standing challenges. These investments are not merely expenditures, they are investments in safer communities, reduced recidivism, and a stronger Virgin Islands. The Bureau remains committed to innovation, fiscal responsibility, and continuous improvement, and we welcome constructive partnerships and solutions that further our mission. I respectfully request your favorable consideration of the Bureau's Fiscal Year 2027 budget request. Thank you for the opportunity to present this testimony. My team and I stand ready to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Testamark, for your presentation and testimony to defend your budget of $36,476,665. At this time, and before we go to open for questions, I'll ask the Madam Clerk to please call the roll.
Senator Marvin A. Blyden. Senator Blyden, present. Senator Dwayne M. DeGraff. Senator DeGraff, absent. Senator Ray Fonseca. Here. Senator Fonseca, present. Senator Novell E. Francis Jr.
I'm here.
Senator Francis Jr., present. Senator Hubert L. Frederick. Senator Frederick, present. Senator Maurice C. James. Senator James, absent. Senator Kurt A. Vele.
Here.
Senator Vele, present. Mr. Chair, 5 present, 2 absent.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You may proceed.
Letter dated June 18, 2026. Dear Chairman Francis Jr., please be advised that I will be late to today's meeting of the Committee on Budget, Appropriation and Finance, scheduled for 10 a.m. in the Earle B. Ottley Legislative Hall, St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. I look forward to joining the meeting upon my arrival. Thank you for your understanding. Respectfully submitted, Maurice C. James, Esquire, Senator, 36th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. This concludes the reading of today's correspondence, Mr. Chair.
Very well, thank you. We'll mark Senator Maurice James's excuse for now, and we'll acknowledge her as soon as she gets here. We'd also like to recognize non-committee member, Senator Franklin Johnson. Good morning, Senator. Thank you for joining us, as well as Senator Clifford Joseph. Good morning, Senator. Thank you for joining us as well. So, Director, I want to also join you in acknowledging your Employees of the Year, Ms. Sonia Ganzi as well as Joan Thomas. And congratulations to them and being recognized as the Employee of the Year. I also want to recognize the graduates of the program outcomes, those individuals that graduated recently, the inmates. I saw some of it on Facebook. I wasn't able to attend the program because, of course, we were here during the budget, but it was really good to see that graduation and our inmates receiving their education degree and project completions and training and skills completion. So that was definitely a plus. I note and observe in your budget presentation that there was no funding for utilities. What is that amount in terms of utility under the single payers?
That is $600,000.
600,000. Okay. Let me just get through a couple of these things and then I'll open up for that. Personal costs. Where are we with your to date your personal costs?
Good morning, Dr. Callwood.
Actuals and
I can give you up to today. So for personnel services, our actual as of right now is $9,534,196.92. For fringe benefits, the current actual is $3,463,039.20. Supplies is $1,033,373.35. Other services is $8,734,801.87.
let me get a number again, please.
For other services,
Yes, sir.
$8,734,801.87.
Utilities.
600,000.
Utilities will be, as of right now, I have it here. $279,728.72.
279.
$728.72.
Capital outlay.
Capital outlay is
$115,427.99.
And your outstanding vendors payment, you say, is pegged at $3.8 million. And what is the aging on that?
It'll be 60 to 90 days.
60 to 90 days.
And then I see that you have an outstanding obligation of $2.8 million.
That's correct.
What is your vacancy savings amount?
Vacancy savings.
What do you believe will be your savings at the end of the fiscal year from vacancies?
I'm thinking about 2.5 million.
So would you be able to cover, or you should be able to cover your obligation, outstanding obligation with that savings?
Yes.
Very well. Okay. Point of information, Senator Vielle first, and then Senator Blyden first, and then Senator Vielle.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to all. In respect to Director McIntyre, in respect to the budget book right on page 5, it's in respect to your personnel and French. There's nothing budgeted for the 27, but the seeding for vacant position. Your vacant position, you say you're gonna have a saving of at least $2.some million, but it's not. There's nothing there in the budget book in terms of vacancies. So, are they funded? And what percentage are they funded at?
So just to clarify,
Yeah.
I think what happened is the last budget, I think the legislature separated the vacancy savings, but our vacancies are included in personnel services. So right now, based on what we have 69 vacancies. Of course, when you deviate up based on if some are funded at 100%, 50%, and 75, I think you'll get about 61, but it's a total of 69.
Okay, so you have 69 vacant positions.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
How many of them are? Well, you know what? Thank you. I'll let my colleague do his point, and then I'll come back because I'm the first.
Thank you very much, Senator Blyden. Senator Vielle, recognize your point of information.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to the people of the Virgin Islands. How did you come up with a 600,000 figure for utilities? What mechanism you used to come up with a number?
Good morning, Senator Vielle. That's just the average that we've been going when you look at the past few years. That's the average.
You're currently paying your 279,728 as of 8 months. If you divide that by 8 and then multiply for the next 4 months and add it on, your utilities is estimated to be $419,592. If you even add on that you had late bills, you add on the next 33,000, your utilities definitely gonna pass $450,000.
Well, if I would add, Senator, also, I think within the last fiscal year that we spent 559,208 in terms of electric costs. Of course, within the confines and the 600,000, of course, we're not going to exceed 600,000.
We have to be very responsible
You're
when
absolutely
we
correct.
budgeting the money, so every savings can be utilized for the next category. Apparently,
Correct.
from your numbers now, you're doing a better job in terms of efficiency of the utilities and electricity. So that's a commendation that would allow us to decrease your budget a little bit for that amount. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Vielle. A point of information, Senator Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Director, on page 5, you mentioned that you're working with OMB pending the salary agreements for the Bureau of Nurses.
Is this the testimony or the post-audit report?
No, this is page 5 of the testimony.
Got it.
2 weeks, you're going to be able to bring the nurses up on the pay schedule.
Yes, Director Testamark. The nurses were approved for raises. However, in order to, one raise was given, one level was given. However, we had to go back to get additional funding for 22, 23?
22. Yeah.
22. So that had to be sent back to OMB for approval. It's been there with them for a couple of weeks now, so hopefully we should get that back, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Once that's completed, then we'll be able to submit it, and they should be all brought up to where they need to be.
And the NOPAs have already been done?
No, we can't do the NOPAs until OMB approve.
Approved. Okay,
Give
so
the
after
funding.
OMB, so figure in 4 weeks they should get. So it'll be a raise and retro or just a raise?
It'll be a raise and retro.
Awesome. Congratulations. I've been pushing you this for a while. Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We've been working very hard.
Thank you very much, Senator Fonseca, for your line of question there. Before I open up, in regards to the funding that you received from the U.S. Marshals Service, and I know of note you had 678,000 in FY25, and you said so far this year you have gotten 204. How was that funding deposited? How was it used?
The funding, it goes into the general fund. It goes into the general fund currently, and we use it for inmate services.
So no specific earmark. Once you receive the fund, it just goes into the general fund, and then it just roll into your funding.
Yes.
What is your current allotments to date? Up to date?
Yes.
Yes, they are.
As of, so you have already gotten June?
We have up for 8 months, up to May.
Up to May.
May.
Okay. Very well. We'll do a 6-minute round, and the order so far, we have Senator Blyden, Senator Johnson, Senator Frederick, Senator Fonseca, Senator Vielle, Senator Joseph. Senator Blyden, you're recognized for your 6 minutes at this time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Good morning to my colleagues, listening and viewing audiences, staff, central staff. Good morning, Director Testamark, and your supporting management team there with you, and thank you so much for your testimony. Let's go to the post-audit report quickly. Page 7, the professional service contract. I see you have a chart with many professional service contracts, and you basically stated that on page 9 that you have paid the annual payment is 11.4 million, and allotted amount was the same amount. But let me ask you about these 4 pending contracts, though. The first one, in terms of Teletrex LLC, Electronic Monitoring Program, pilot program. Can you tell me briefly about a pilot program, please, and what the intent for that?
That particular program is intended to hopefully individuals that it's not of a high security risk, providing the courts agree, we'll be able to have them out on home confinement, utilizing that particular system. That, in addition to the mentally ill, those individuals that's able to be released into the community, again, this is all contingent on the court's approval, that they will also be able to monitor them utilizing this particular software.
Okay, very well. Let's go to the federal grant on page 10. I know what you said in your testimony that you have been responsible when you come to your federal grants and you're spending those funds. But I would have liked to see, in terms of the federal grants, how much have been expended. You know, I know you have the actuals, but I would love to know how much have been expended and what they are for. For instance, let's go to the economic, social, and political development of the territories. What's that grant about, basically?
Okay, I'll let Mr. Peter Abrams expand upon that.
Because there was nothing recommended for 2027. What I would like to know what it's for.
Okay, go ahead, Peter Abrams.
How much have you expended thus far?
This is the one that's for 400,000?
Yes.
Okay. That is to develop, to continue to develop our transitional housing program. We wrote that through the Department of Interior, and it was awarded so that we wanted to procure like 2 additional transitional homes, develop a program, provide therapeutic services. So it'll be like a group home program. And so that was like a pilot program to get that off the ground and moving. And then our hope is to develop a package where that anybody, you know, like they can take it from the Bureau of Correction and use it in the community.
And when did it expire?
28.
Oh, 28?
It's a 3-year grant.
It sounds like a pretty good program to me. Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go to the outstanding vendor payments. Total of $2.8 million.
That is correct, sir.
3.8.
3.8 million dollars.
Yes.
So what are we doing in that space in terms of basically getting caught up on especially small vendors who really depend on those funds?
What are we
Well,
doing?
just to respond, of the 3.8, we have 900 and change right now waiting a check run by finance. Most of the small business vendors have been paid. Those are more large-scale vendors, especially as we take care of the inmates for medical or dental care. That's the balance of the payments that is owed.
Okay, very well. In terms of your testimony, page 5, you spoke to recruitment efforts and initiative you have brought forth in terms of contributing to an increase in recruitment when it comes to application, no higher the quality both district. Do you have a number to say, like, what number have you seen in terms of increase? And when did you start those efforts?
I'll let Dr. Kaiser Coward and Ms. Gums, they could respond to that. Thank you.
So I would say overall we have had a good number of individuals that we have brought on board to the tune of 25 individuals that we have increased, approximately 25. It could be a little bit more. Where we have worked around the clock with radio advertisement, every single career fair that the government of Virgin Islands have, we have done it. We have even attempted to do our own virtual fair. We promoted that. We have even strengthened in providing the testing requirements, paying for all the testing requirements for the applicants when they apply to be correction officers. We pay for their assessments, that they have the medical assessment, the physical agility assessments, those things we pay for in-house to ensure that we get more individuals to apply to work at the Bureau of Corrections.
Okay, very well. And also on page 5, you spoke to the $7.9 million in fiscal year 2025 that was spent on feeding and for off-island inmates and lodging. But how much was spent on healthcare? Because you mentioned healthcare costs also, but you didn't get a price tag. How much did we spend on healthcare costs? Because that's in addition to housing and feeding them, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we get a
1
total
minute.
for that, please?
I'll let Ms. Monroe, fiscal.
Hi, Kathy Monroe. For 2025 off-island healthcare, we spent $301,949.
Okay, thank you for that number. Also, you spoke in the testimony about still being under the consent decree, and even though you have one area suspended, you're still under the consent decree. What's the price tag for that consent decree? How much are we paying annually?
30 seconds.
We budget $1.2 million.
1.2?
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, before my time it has expired, I want to say congratulations to the both employees from the St. Thomas and St. Croix District for being Employee of the Year. And I want to say also congratulations to those individuals that actually completed the high school diploma, those that did the training in terms of CTEC, and also those that actually have completed the requirements to move forward to rejoin our society. But at the same time, I want to say congratulations for all you're doing in respect to the programs and to all of the employees of the Bureau.
Time.
For continuing to look out for those individuals so they can actually rejoin our community in a positive manner. And again, thank you so much for the time, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Blyden, for your line of questions. Real quickly before we go to the next senator, we're hearing that the Dignity bus was having some electrical hookup issues when they go to Frederickstead. Have you been able to resolve that issue? Is that still a concern?
That's not a concern. We use we have a generator.
You have a generator
We have a
powered?
generator,
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's powered when we do.
All right.
We are working with WAPA because we want to install a. Peter them could talk about that,
Yes.
but it's not an issue.
It's
Bottom
not an
line,
issue,
not
it's
an
just to
issue.
be able to have a hookup.
Right, have a hookup, but we have a generator on board. Thank you.
Peter?
Yeah, we did reach out to WAPA, and we sent them pictures of the location and of the poles and everything that we wanted to have a drop put on, and that they said they're going to internally review it, see what accommodations they can make for us, so that now when we put, because we'll save money on gas with the generator
Right.
by having it hooked up directly. So that's a work in progress.
Okay. And what is the other location that you believe that the Dignity bus would be deployed to? Do you have any planned deployment?
Go ahead.
Yeah, we really and truly we there's a vast concentration of individuals in that area, so that's why we right there. But eventually we want to venture out into Christiansted also,
Right.
Because there is, so we're just trying to manage our resources
Yes.
with the one bus.
Yeah, there's definitely a need for it. I mean, just about every single day, just seeing a new face popped up, throughout. I'm even seeing them here in St. Thomas, but even in St. Croix as well. You just see new faces popping up all our location. The recent one that I saw was in the Hannah's Hope area, walking along that side. So I'm hoping at some point we could really do a better job in addressing that particular issue. I also think that the Bureau of Correction would be a good place for us to be able to have an alternative energy, a solar farm or solar plant or whatever. Have you had any discussion with the Energy Office in that respect?
I'll let Mr. Peter Abrams elaborate on that. Thanks.
We have done several projects with the Energy Office, as Senator Villela noted it in the electrical bill. The reason why it was dropping is because we've been switching from our energy systems, air conditioning systems, to more energy efficient lighting, such forth. And we have tried to do a Department of Interior grant to fund putting solar panels on the roof of the facilities, but we're still working on putting together the scope of work for something like that so that we can submit that to the Department of Interior to see if we can get funding through the Energy Office.
Very well. I see that Senator Potter has joined us. He'll be virtual online, so you'll be added to the lineup. Senator Potter, good morning, welcome. Senator Ray Fonseca, you recognize for your point of information.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Testamark, on page 12 of the post-audit report is showing that there's Wang Louis Hospital, there's a $900,000 bill, and it's verification. What's happening? Do you owe Wang Louis $900,000, or are you contesting that amount?
No, we're not contesting that. Wang Louis came to us, told us that we owe them $4 million, and we provided all our documentation to them to show that we don't owe that. We only owe a balance of $900,000. So right now, they are verifying the information that we gave them with all our receipts. So that's why we say that's what we owe them with our documentation. So we're waiting for them now to come back with us.
Well,
To us.
but if you agree you owe them 900, they say 4 mil. Why you don't just pay the 900,000 and then you deal with the other 3.1 million later? It seems like if you agree you owe them 900, or that 900,000 is related to the 4.1 million. Some of it is contested or is uncontested.
The documentation that they provided to us after the budget unit reviewed everything, we owed $900,000. We had communication. I've been in communication with the CEO and her team, and they took the information, and she said that they will get back to us. I don't think that we can just pay $900,000 without us both agreeing.
Oh, so they don't accept 9, they accept
At
in
this
4.
time, they have to go over
What's
the
the timeline to get it resolved? Do you know?
You'll have to ask Wang Louis. We
Okay.
did what we were
Thank
supposed
you.
to
Thank
do.
you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, the chair will recognize Senator Franklin Johnson. You're recognized for your 6 minutes. Let's try that again. We are not hearing you, Senator Johnson. Media.
Can you hear me now?
We can. Yes. Go ahead. You may proceed.
Good morning. For time's sake, before my time starts, I would appreciate if the warden and St. Thomas, if they're there, if they could come into the well, because I need to ask some question in reflection of this over time, but I'll proceed asking question until they arrive. I also want to talk about...
One second,
colleague just spoke about
one second,
900.
Senator. 1 second. Is the wardens here and available too?
Yes.
If they could have them, go ahead and make their way to the well.
But I'll go ahead with my line of question until they settle in.
Yes, we'll start your time now, and then we'll go ahead and you may proceed.
I also want to piggyback on what my colleague just spoke about, that $900,000 for Wang Lu. There's a $326,000 for Roy Snyder Hospital. What's the status on that?
Go ahead. We don't- it's in process.
Kathy Monroe. Basically, it's the same thing. Both parties are revising to come to a concluded amount.
No. When you said the same thing, you said that Wang Louis said was 4 million and you said 900. So I'm saying that Roy Snyder said $326,000. So did Roy Snyder said it was more than $326,000?
No. Those are current, actually. Those are current bills, and we're actually in the process of auditing them to make sure that it's our bills and the amounts are correct, yes. So we're actually in the process of auditing those.
All right, let's go to this $7.9 million for FYI for mainland. In that 7.9, we spoke that 7.9 had to do with feeding and medical expenditures. But yet we talk about it costs us $300 a day in the Virgin Islands versus 100 in one facility and 80. What's the total cost for feeding in the Virgin Islands?
We'll have to get that back to you in a
Because
second,
it's tight thing
Senator.
here today. I know this is going to happen.
We have to get back to you with that, Senator. We'll look for it while you ask your other question.
Let's try to move on for time's sake. Out of the $3.85 million in outstanding vendors application, how many of them are more than 90 days?
Outstanding applications.
Mr. Chair, I need for you to work with me with my time. I expected this from the Bureau, and this just is unacceptable.
Go ahead, Senator. We'll definitely work with you in the time. We know that you're virtual, so work with you on this one.
I got 6 minutes and probably last 3 minutes I didn't get an answer. I also saw where they're talking about inmates re-entry into the facility. They talk about some 19 came back. How many of the prisoners that was released actually died and never came back? What's the status on that? In other words, got into violent crime and lost their life.
Director Testamark, could you repeat your question, Senator Johnson, in reference to individuals that passed away?
You said that out of 100, only 19 re-entered. And I asked, what's the status on the remainder? How many of them got into violent crime and lost their life? Because you say you're doing a following for prisoners that was released.
Well, what I can tell, Director Testamark, what I can tell you, Senator Johnson, is from during my tenure from 2019 to present, we have lost 10 individuals that died to gun violence since being released from jail. They would not be counted as recidivism because they did not come back into the facility.
I understand that. I'm just asking you, these are people that you should have been looking at. So then that should be in your numbers to say that those that did not come back end up in a criminal activity and lost their life.
Okay, thank you.
Going down that line, you say you have 170 prisoners off island. Am I correct with that?
Yes, Senator.
Now, we're speaking about this prisoners being released, and you're running check on them. And I've been in contact with many prisoners that got released from the mainland. What is your checking or your scope of those that get released from the mainland? Because as late as last month, I've spoke to a prisoner that said if it wasn't for his family member, the Bureau did nothing for him. What's the status on those that are being released from the mainland back home to the territory?
Director Testamark, what I can tell you, Senator Johnson, is that when an individual is released from the mainland, staff go and they escort them back. Now, if they're on parole, probation, or whatever, then they check in with that particular office. If they need assistance, they let us know. Other than that, that is not our responsibility, the Bureau of Corrections' responsibility.
They are our prisoner, Director. I disagree with you. The same way we release a prisoner here in the Virgin Islands, when you send them to the mainland, they're still ours, and they should be tracked and assisted just as much as those here in the territory. I'm going to go a little deeper with this since we're talking about mainland prisoners. Because when our prisoners get killed on the mainland, what kind of tracking system you have to make sure that the family is notified?
Director Testamark, if an inmate passes away while they're on the mainland, their family members are notified. Our medical director makes the notification and takes it from there.
Well, I'm going to correct you right now. The last inmate that was stabbed, if the family member didn't call you, no one would have found out because you have not updated their file. As I speak in here, an individual died from a heart attack, and he was cremated because no one can take his family members. These are our prisoners. We are responsible for them. Are you aware about the individual that died in one of your facilities in the mainland and was cremated?
Senator Johnson, what I will not do today is go through these individual cases, but what I will tell you that any individual that's entrusted in the care of Bureau of Corrections,
You have to be one at a time so that the recorder could properly
any
record the
individual
proceedings.
that is entrusted in our care, whether they're here in the territory or they're in the mainland, they are treated with dignity and respect, period. Thank you.
Well, my information is very solid, and we're going to have to do some more deep dive because we're sending our inmates away and we're not being responsible. We are not. And it's a shame when a family member has to check on their loved one to find out that they had passed and was cremated. What are you guys doing for upgrading these individual files and record with family member here? We're paying a whole lot of money to the mainland.
Excuse me, this is Dr. Linda Callwood. Senator Johnson, I am personally responsible for notifying the family members when someone has passed away. So I personally look into making sure that the next of kin that is listed by the inmate be notified. The last one
So are you aware?
Yes, I'm
Are you
aware of
aware of
everything.
one of our individual
1
passing that
minute.
was cremated and his family didn't know?
Oh, that gentleman had a next of kin that was listed, and that individual was notified immediately. That individual, immediate family did not want to have anything to do with him. Therefore, he had a non-family member listed as his next of kin. They were notified immediately about the cremation and the burial of that individual. It's only this week one of his sisters on his father's side contacted the Bureau of Correction, and I returned her call. And I told her we're going to respect his wishes to notify the next of kin that was listed, and we followed that policy.
But this government gonna have to do a serious deep dive as to what's going on with our prisoners on the mainland, because it's a travesty as to what's happening. The last individual that was
30
stabbed to
seconds.
death, if his family didn't have the director number, they would have never found out. They found out from prisoners in that facility.
I would
We're
like
gonna
to
do some
speak
deep
on,
dive
I
on
would
this.
like to speak on that also.
My last
Senator,
question. No, ma'am.
well,
please,
don't
go
bring
to-
up a
Ma'am,
subject
ma'am.
and then you don't allow people to
Doctor,
respond.
doctor, we can't have that. You will allow him to finish his time, and then you could respond, but you can't.
If the warden if the warden for the facility have
They're seated here in the well, Senator. Do you have a question for either one of the warden
thank you very
voters here?
much.
All right.
My question I want to ask them, because they talk about the saving of overtime. Has security been compromised on the shift while saving this overtime? Have you been understaffed on many occasions for the process of saving overtime? Whichever warden is there, can they answer that?
Good morning, Warden Dana Grant for John A. Bell Facility. No, we haven't.
The warden for St. Thomas?
Good morning, Roberto Monsanto, warden for St. Thomas CJC. No.
So I'm going to stick with CJC because I got a lot of complaints about that. You're saying that you've been fully staffed and you have not been cutting down on staff, breaching security for overtime.
No.
Thank you very much. I want to remember these testimony because we're going to find a list of how many
Time.
staff been working in the facility. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just hope that we would, as you know, legislature, we go deep diving on what's going on the mainland with our prisoners, the mistreatment of our prisoners, and our families that we have been sending to the mainland. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Johnson. Director, what do you attribute to the reduction of the overtime hours?
Well, number one, the population has dropped. If you look at the numbers, the population is much lower. Matter of fact, it's the lowest it's been in my tenure here. That, and also, again, we have correction technicians, that is a position I told you we created to assist security staff in doing some of the clerical duties. Two, and just basically enhance security technology to assist staff in doing their work. So that's what I'll attribute to it.
Very well. Thank you. And what's the situation? I see your testimony where you talk about that the security design is still being built out. Why is it taking so long for that design to be completed?
This one is for the John A. Bell?
Yes.
That's for the perimeter fencing. Well, one of the challenges I was told, and I know that Mr. Abraham or my facility manager could expand upon that, but apparently DPW, we were working with one particular engineer, that person retired, then someone came on, then they retired or they left. So it's just an ongoing with staff personnel in that particular shop.
So this should be a priority measure.
Yes.
Again,
Yes, it is.
So what is the next phase? And so that upon completion of the drawings and necessary reviews, the project will advance to the next phase. Do you have a timeline when the next phase will engage on that particular
I'll
issue?
let Mr. Abraham or Mr. Walker can elaborate.
The There are several projects that are going on right now. Which one are we referring to?
Defense.
Okay. So with respect to the security fence, the documents were 30% complete. This month, they're going to be 60% complete, and then the final completion of the project will be December 15th, according to the architects and designers. That's the date that they should have us delivered 100% of the construction documents.
Very well. We'll continue to track that because I would imagine that it's a priority and that we should get this going. So.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. We consider it a priority because it's our perimeter fencing, and that we've been working very closely with the architect and engineer, with O'Brien, DLR, the architects, and ODR, which is the entity that's working with us on moving this project along.
What other disaster recovery project you have going on, Director?
Yeah.
Or Mr. Abraham?
So. Pretty much the John Bell facility project. The next phase of the John Bell facility project is what they call the wind retrofit phase, which is taking a look at windows, doors, roofs, things like that. But they wanted to get the fencing part done first because that was the security fencing was the priority. And the only other project we have going on is the Swan Annex in St. Thomas. But the majority of all of the FEMA-related emergency projects have been pretty much completed.
Okay. And the status of the Swan Annex, I know some time back we had moved legislation to allow for the property to be properly zoned and marketed. What's happening with the annex?
Currently, right now, that is in the hands of ODR. ODR is the lead on that, and they're the ones that are giving us the instructions as to where we are with the project.
And where are you?
And Director Testamark,
So where are you with that project?
right now that's on hold. There was a client, someone who lives on the property, that took the government to court, and there was a temporary order, restraining order. So that's in litigation right now.
Oh. All right. Dr. Calwood, you wanted to say something? No, you good.
Dr. Linda Callwood, Medical Director, Virgin Islands Bureau of Corrections. I just wanted to clarify the statement concerning the individual that was stabbed. The Bureau of Corrections, myself personally, called every available phone number that we had on file locally. I also spoke to the HSA at the facility, and they provided the telephone number that the gentleman that passed away provided to them. We called the incorrect phone number. So that's how everything took place. We try our best to notify the family. However, the numbers that we had on file, which was provided by the patient that passed away, they were incorrect.
Do you have a written policy or procedures by which you follow for individuals that's injured, the demise as a result while in custody? Is there a policy and procedure in place to how you handle the processing of that information?
Yes, we do, Director Testamark. Yes, we do. And most often, too, sometimes the challenge is when we visit those individuals, anyone come into our custody, we try to get information from them, the next of kin, for reasons such as this. And sometimes some individuals don't want to give any information. Sometimes they say they don't have anyone. However, we still continue. Our classification unit acts that information, and they get it. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes medical may get it. Again, either way, it goes into the same system. When we go away, the last time we went away, we updated the records. I have pictures with the inmates holding the card, their name and their next of kin, because that's very, very important. So again, sometimes we go with what the information that the inmate gives to us, and that's what we utilize.
Very well. At this time, the chair will recognize Senator Frederick. Hubert Frederick, you recognize for your 6 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. A pleasant good morning, colleagues, testifiers, listener and viewing audience, my office, central staff. Director Testamark, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
I want to start off because I was so excited to see that your agency is doing something I've been pleading with all the agencies to do is save money. And I see specifically on your testimony, page 4, where we spoke about overtime being substantially reduced at the BOC by $1.9 million. I am just ecstatic by that number. So please tell me the magic in doing so. And after that, tell me the magic that you guys found in getting such a huge appropriation of federal funds all of a sudden, because
Okay.
this is reasons for us now as a territory to save money.
Okay. Director Testamark, relative to the overtime, we've had a staff, what we call a staffing analysis. And in that staffing analysis, we recognize posts that we can consolidate safely and mandatory versus optimal. So you have some posts that you can, like daytime, you have a lot of different activities going on a day shift. So you'll have more staff, yes, on day shift versus nighttime. So we look at our overall operations, and in doing so, we were able to consolidate some things. And again, in addition to that, technology. We employ technology, the use of cameras. It doesn't take the place of a human being, but it assists the individual doing that job. And in addition to that, correctional technicians. Correctional technicians is a position that's been utilized in the correctional professions for the last 20 years. It's just new here to the territory. And those individuals are able to do the jobs, clerical jobs, that oftentimes correction officers will find time doing. However, we concentrate on getting the correctional officer to basically focus now on security and have those correction techs take those medial tasks away from them.
Basically, that was a lot of time they were spending on clerical duties then.
Yes.
Okay.
Like
good.
booking someone, you're sitting at a computer, putting the stuff in
Right.
this. A correction tech could do that. When it comes to head count, when you talk about calling individuals, they don't physically go and count the inmates. That's what security staff will do. But then they could call that person in central control, and they could record that information. So things like that. Again, it's all about looking at our overall operations and see where we could be more effective and efficient.
So does any of the vacancies that you currently have listed include more of those type individuals?
I think we only have like two positions for corrections tech. Most of our positions is for correctional officers. And again, our aim is to fill our correctional officers' position. That's what we want to do. That is the goal. However, we're challenged with filling those positions with qualified individuals.
I'm glad you mentioned that because in 2024, you only recruited 2.
Yeah.
The prior year, 2023, you had 7.
Yeah.
And it's never been more than 9, I see, over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
9. So, well, what was 2025's number?
Ms. Gumps, 2025.
And if you can, tell me what 2026 is as of this month.
2025? Oh, I'm sorry. Phyllis Hodge Gums. 3. We promoted 3.
3.
And can I clarify? You're saying recruit.
Yes.
We recruit a lot of individuals.
Well, the ones
But when
I
they
guess that
go-
were retained, right?
Again?
Is that what was retained here?
Yes, sir.
Right. So,
Yeah, we
wow.
recruit a lot of individuals, but they go through Division of Personnel to take the test. And due to the background and their medical,
Sometimes they
it
don't
weans them out.
Yeah, this is like a 20% rate. This is
Yeah, Director
really
Testamark.
bad.
Unfortunately, sometimes we have a lot of applicants. We have a lot of applicants. They will come, they will be interested. They go to personnel, they will sign up, they put in application. Sometimes they're weeded out by their background. Sometimes they can't pass the exam. So if we have a pool of 19 people that applied, sometimes you only end up getting one person at the end of the day because you weed them out by the background, or some of them can't pass the exam. So it's a challenge. It's been a challenge for years.
Is there anything we could do in terms of workforce development to help with this process? I mean, it's not
Well,
that
yes.
difficult of a job, right?
Yes, I mean, we're always open to whatever we can do to assist them. But Bureau of Correction, what we have done to assist the applicants
1 minute.
is that we pay $5 for each test, a practice test, to help the individuals to pass these exams. That's one thing that we do, Bureau of Corrections, because we know it's a challenge. The next thing too is I can't help them with the background. We can't help them with the background. The background is the background.
But we could weed those out initially so we don't even waste any time with those people.
Yes.
So don't even count 19 if 7 of them
30
have
seconds.
a criminal background or whatever, or drugs or whatever. Just don't even count those. They shouldn't pass the initial screening.
Well, the process in which the government of the Virgin Islands has is once they go to personnel, they say that they're okay to apply. If they pass the test, if they apply, they pass the test, when we do in the background is where we find some challenges, some obstacles, and that's where sometimes they're weeded out.
You know what's scary to me? Your graduation rates at the Bureau of Correction is 54% year over year. But for us to hire correction officers, we can't even get a 20% rate. So the inmates are smarter than the applicants applying for the job.
No, that's not what I said.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You look. I mean, that's not good. So we got some smart inmates. That's a good thing. We just need to get some smarter applicants here.
Well, I mean, again, we continue to work with the applicants. And again, too, I want everybody to remember that the Bureau of Corrections also competes with other agencies. Okay, we compete with police, we compete with the airport, and bottom line is Bureau of Correction is not glamorous in the eyes of those individuals. You understand? So more often they will prefer to go to VIPD or other agencies versus corrections.
I quite understand. I was having fun with that. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the time.
Thank you. Dr. Calwood?
Yeah, I just wanted to respond in terms of an example. We had, maybe a couple months ago, we had 10 solid candidates that we selected to go through the process, begin the medical, begin the agility test. We had 10 people. First time ever we have had 10 people. Went through all the processes. Ms. Gums does a good job between a grandfather and a grandmother figure, holding their hand, reminding them about the appointment. Don't forget you have to attend this place. If you need a ride, let us know, we'll take you. These kind of stuff we've been doing. We will only be out to the 10, we only got 1. So it's 10 people was ready to go, 1 person because the others don't want to, I guess, give the doctors the information. Those other in terms of background check don't really want you to get the information. They like, oh, well, I forgot I got in trouble with my parent and I got a record. I forgot about that. Those kind of things that they don't think that would come up on their background is the issue. So I would say the agency, we hold hands. Too long, director says eventually take them off the list. She's not going to go back. We call them 3 times, text in, email, call. So even like when we have candidates, what Ms. Gums do, we call on the phone, they don't answer. We send an email, they don't respond. She go ahead and schedule them anyway. We have gotten candidates when they saw the calendar invite, they came and joined. Well, I didn't know I had an interview, but I saw it, so I came. So we try different ways to ensure and strategies and tactics to get people on board. So I would say in the HR division, she goes over, above and beyond. Sometimes it's too long, but we try to get candidates and we do everything possible to get qualified candidates, not just to check a box, but to get candidates that come to workshop, to work on time, come on time, do their job, and ensure that we can rehabilitate those entrusted to our care.
Thank you for putting that on record because you're preaching to the choir. A lot of times I've been engaged with trying to develop this recruitment and retention policy to be able to assist our applicants. But I know of many instances where you bring these individuals right to the trough and you still have to painstaking. I even had to take money out of my pocket to pay for psychological to be done, to pay for medical to be done. I mean, they want the job and you won't believe the extreme, and then they still don't show up for the appointment after going through all of that. So I understand and I'm very familiar with the challenges. It's almost they want a job, but they want you to go through the process of giving them the job without them having any requirements or being able to meet any requirements. And it happens in public, it happens in private, but in sectors. The chair will now recognize Senator Ray Fonseca. You recognize for your 6 minutes, sir.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, colleagues. I bring warm greetings to all those viewing and listening. Okay, Director Testamark, you know, I've seen some improvement. I wanted to go, I got a couple questions, so I ain't gonna let you talk too much. You can answer in the chair's time. You know, the expense of incarceration, you know, $320 per day. That's like $116,800 locally. You know, it amazes me how the construction and things are just so inflated in St. Thomas. We have a housing development that's being constructed, and it's about $800,000 per unit. Can you imagine that? Housing, low-income housing, $800,000 per unit. Okay, so, congratulations. I've seen you have good staff. You have Dr. Kaiser Carlwood. I like that bow tie. You got Dr. Linda Carlwood. I know she's a dedicated professional. And also Dr. Victor. So I can see the increases and your intention to the health care in the Virgin Islands. And I noticed your budget, page 7, was $836,000 for local medical care. Off island, it was $301,949. Now, in the consent decree, adequate medical care was an issue. So are you saying that the medical care locally matches the off-island medical care? Give me your statement on that.
I will let Dr. Carlwood speak on that. She's the expert in that area. Dr. Carlwood?
Dr. Linda Carlwood. Yes, the services that the inmate patients receive on the mainland is equal to that we provide here in the territory.
Okay, good. Okay, I wanted to go to, I noticed your statistics. I track this all the time because it's very important. The total last year when you came was 351. You had 191 local inmates, 160 off island. Now it's still 351. You have 181 local and 170. So you have 10 more off island. It's $2.1 million for the court-appointed monitors and experts required by the consent decree. I think that's the number I have here. Give me a little narrative on how we're doing with the court-appointed monitors and experts.
How are we doing with them?
Yeah.
Well, in the St. Croix case, it's a collaborative effort. We work together jointly to help us achieve compliance. In the St. Thomas case, it's the ACLU that brought the case against the territory, so it's a little different. We have our next status hearing. There haven't been much movement in the St. Thomas case. It's now beginning to ramp up. Judge Malloy is now the judge in that case, so we look forward to. We're scheduled for a tentative site visit in September of 2020 this year.
Okay. I was just had a little sidebar with the majority chair. We did a fact check on your statistics with the recidivism rate, the 68% nationally. You're right. So locally we're at 18.6% for 3 years. Why are we doing so much better than the national average?
Well, Director Testamark, I would say again, our population is different. Our culture is different. So when we look at the things that we're doing here in the territory to help prepare our individuals is different. I've worked in the States for 29 and a half years. A lot of things that we are doing here, it doesn't exist in the mainland because they just have more people. They have more, the population is much bigger. You're talking about 60, 50,000 people, inmates that a facility may have to deal with versus our smaller population. So I would say the fact that our culture, the population is much more manageable, and we're able to definitely have more programs where we could reach a broader variety here in the territory because of the smaller population versus in the States.
Okay, and was my time called, Mr. Chair? No, okay, good. Last year, you said the average age of prisoners was about 24. I think it was 24, 25. Lately, we've had some serious incidences with minors. What's the average age now?
The average age is still 24, 18 to 24, but it's 24. We have one juvenile that's being tried as an adult that's now in our custody.
Okay,
The
so
person is 16 years old.
Okay, so you have that AI program, that training program that I thought was very good with Sherry and Gilbert.
1 minute.
Oh, did I say congratulations to Joan Thomas, your Employee of the Year?
No, you didn't say that, but
Oh,
she welcomed it.
congratulations to Joan Thomas. I can't miss that at all. Of course, you know, we had the Master of Ceremonies here, Dr. Calwood, for the whole big balang last week. So awesome. Okay, so tell me about that.
Tell you about what?
No, the Sherry Ann Gilbert, the AI training program.
The VR training. Mr. Peter Abrams, I'll let him
30
elaborate.
seconds.
You keep saying Sherry. She is just the office. She's the officer that works the program in that.
Okay. I had a bad note.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us about that, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Abrams.
So what we did as part of our educational program was we looked at various challenges that we had, and we developed a proprietary system, which we created a tablet program. And then as part of that tablet program, we created a virtual reality. And the virtual reality, we're proud to say that we're the first correctional facility in the United States to utilize that technology, and the technology works, where that currently right now in the VR program, we provide 15 vocational programs that are NOCTI certified. That's a national accreditation. So when they complete the class, they get a national accreditation. And the certificates come from Valley Forge Military College. So they get a certificate of completion from a university in the States, and they get the certifications here. And the greatest part about the VR program is that it's in the headset. And if they are on lockdown or if they are confined to their housing unit, they could still take the class. So it doesn't matter where they're at, they can still take the class. Even though they come to the education building and they do take the classes, this gives them the opportunity. But I also, if you give me an opportunity, you had spoke to the director about the recidivism rate.
Right.
Okay. So I just wanted to add the biggest difference that we have done at the Bureau of Corrections is we have developed our own personalized case management system so that when an individual comes in, we assess him in 4 respective areas. We tape test it, the test of adult basic education to determine their educational levels. We do a psychosocial assessment, the strong R assessment, which is people know it as the LSCMI. Then we do the ONET, which is a job determination based on your interest. And then lastly, we do AccuVision, which is a soft skills personality test. The individuals go through this process and the case managers develop a case plan that's specifically directed to that individual. And then they also meet with the mental health unit, right? Which then also works with the inmate and if need be, create a treatment plan for that individual. So what we're finding out, which is different, is that that individual is getting a lot of personalized attention. And that's what's causing the recidivism rate to go down, because by the time they go through our process, we know what they want, we know what they need. And if you've heard through the conversation of yesterday's graduation, if you watched the Facebook thing, you heard the testimonies of the individuals, it's because we are paying attention to what their needs are. That's the reason why the recidivism rate is where it's at. Now, the reason for the increase that we saw, the jump, is because, as was mentioned in the testimony here, is that transitional housing is a problem in the territory. As a matter of fact, it wasn't a couple of months ago we came in here because an inmate had committed a crime to come back into the facility because he was not receiving the services on the outside. We provide fantastic behavioral services programs. Dr. Calwood, the medical director, does fantastic with the medical. One guy calls me all the time, says he needs to get teeth fixed. That's the reason why he had to come back to prison, because he can't get teeth fixed on the outside. And so there's all of these programs that we're providing in the facility. I mean, if you get an opportunity to come, we have a state-of-the-art dental unit with panoramic scan. We do telemedicine. We do the health services that Dr. Callwood provides is bar none. And that's the reason why the inmates want to come back. Wow. And we're trying to tell them that, no, we're preparing you to become better returning citizens so you can become contributing members of the society and give back. So at the end of the day, our main focus is to get them healthy so they can get a job.
Awesome, awesome. So with the AI certification, is that open to the public? So can I sign up for that?
As a matter of fact, the only facility that I know that offers the same program that's open to the public is in Orlando, Florida, where it's been working so well in Florida that the Florida State of Corrections has decided that they are adopting the same program that we have for the entire state of Florida because it's working so well. It not only using the VR program, it takes the educational part of it, like when you used to go to class, it cuts the educational part by 50%. So it takes less time to train these individuals, and they receive the same certification. In the city of Orlando, every person that completes the electrical helper program is automatically employed by Tri-City Electric, which is the big electrical company up there, because it has been a proven program that works very well.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the time.
Thank you very much, Senator Fonseca. It sounds like we have these institutional services that's provided. We have the same situation with the boarders at the hospital. They don't want to go home.
Yeah.
They're stuck there because they're getting better service in the facility. So that is something that we certainly have to take a look at. We're about to go to a break, but I see that Senator Joseph is asking for a point of information, so we'll have him do his point of information, and then we'll take a 2-minute recess. Senator Joseph, you're recognized for your point of information.
Yes, pertaining to the same line of questioning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the time. What happens here in the territory when somebody complete the training? What do you do? I listen to what you're saying on the state side, because I know with trade work, I don't care how much you train and you get your certification. If you don't get a chance to put your hands on it, it kind of leaves you. So I'm asking what we're doing with the ones here in the territory.
Good morning, Peter Abrahams, Assistant Director, Support Services. We, as part of the tablet program, we have a connection with the Department of Labor. And so we work with the VIEWS, the Virgin Islands Employment Workforce System, and we get the individuals into the Department of Labor system. And so, as we pointed out before, you could do everything you can do, and you can provide all the training. You could bring the horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. So we go to the point where that a lot of times we get them set up with an appointment. We reach out to the director, but if they don't show up, they're outside the prison now. If they don't come, but they receive the training, I can speak to a couple of individuals because we've met them. We've met them in the States, where that a lot of the individuals that have left here travel with their portfolio of certificates that they receive from here, and they get employed immediately. We have a testimony from an individual that said that he went in to look for a job, unsolicited, went in asking this automotive place for a job, and he showed them the portfolio. The guy sent him straight to HR. This was an individual that received all his certificates from here. He used to work in the motor pool department here, so he knew about body work, because he was doing it hands-on here. Plus, he took the course training and became certified in these areas, and they're being employed. So a lot of the individuals here that receive their certification leave, and they go to the States. We have worked with the ones here because we are developing programs where we're trying to develop relationships, community relationships with the businesses to say, what is it that you need? So we're trying our best to make the connection, but it's at the end of the day, it's also dependent on the applicant, because if the applicant doesn't want to work, I can't force them to work.
I understand, Mark. I wasn't really so much, I was just wondering what kind of traction are we getting after the train here locally? I mean, yes, I'm happy to hear that there are individuals that are going out to work, but can you say, at least you know of 3 individuals that were released from the prison that are actually working today because of one of the trainings? That's my point.
Yes, definitely. And I can give you one quick example. We had a gentleman that was released here, and I just happened to drop into one of them little side stores where that he came walking in, and he saw me. He said, Mr. Abrahams, that's you? I said, yes. And he said, man, I can't thank you enough for the stuff that you did for us inside. And I said, well, what's that? He said, come, let me show you. And he went outside, and he showed me this secondhand car that he bought. And he said, because of the electrical training that I got inside, right, I started working for these people, and I continued doing my electrical work, but now I'm getting so much outside work, you know, from the company that I'm doing so well that I bought a car. And so the system works. And if the person has the drive and the initiative, it continues. So yes, I do have testimonies from individuals that have said that they're very grateful to the work that the director has been doing in promoting, you know, these vocational programs. And we're going to continue to add more programs onto our system because we've developed the mechanism to provide additional courses. We have individuals that constantly take classes where that they could do, you know, during the course of a couple of months, they could finish 30 certifications. The one graduate over here in St. Thomas, we were so proud of him. He went and took every single vocational program that was available on the VR headset, which is 15 of them. He received in his graduation 15 certificates where he's nationally certified, and he got a certificate of completion from the university that provided it. These are individuals that took it upon themselves to want to do it. And so when they leave here, yes, they're getting, we work with them and the Department of Labor to get jobs.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that response. Thank you so much.
Very
Thank you, Mr.
My
Chair.
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Joseph. Feel free to ask any more questions. Yeah.
Yes.
So after they do I guess the obviously they're doing it with the headset and everything else. At what point do they do practical? A short version though.
I'll answer for you.
That's the beautiful benefit of the virtual. Because of the hand memory and everything, they don't need to do like actually hold a drill. They don't need to do that. And like I said, it's been proven in Orlando with the folks there that in the past we did have to do a practical where we had a mock-up that they would come and do it. No, we don't have to do that anymore because they've been scoring 100% every single time they finish the VR program. So it's like we don't need to do it.
Yeah, Director Testamark, I just need to add to that. The individuals also have hands-on practice because they work alongside our facility maintenance inside the facility. They also work outside on some of these projects for the government. And again, we even took it further. We hired one of those individuals as a maintenance technician for the Bureau of Corrections. So again, it works, and we put those individuals to work who wants to work.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, very well. Thank you. At this time, the Committee of Budget, Appropriations and Finance will take a 2-minute recess.
the way